Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the fourth group. The member is me, Nur Aini, student TB, and Teresa Octavia. So now we will present our material that is presupposition and entailment. First is definition of presupposition. So, presupposition are implicants that are often felt to be in the background, to be assumed by the speaker to be already known to the addresses. For example, A. The king of France is bald. B. The king of France is not bald. C. Is the king of France is bald? D. If the king of France is bald, he should wear a hat in winter. So, presupposition from the example A, B, C, and D is there's a king of France. Next is types of presupposition. So there are six types of presupposition. First, existential presupposition. The second is effective presupposition. The third is non-effective presupposition. The fourth is lexical presupposition. The fifth is structural presupposition, and the last is counterfactual presupposition. Okay, next is type. The first type is existential presupposition. So a speaker is committed to the existence of the entity's name. Example: the Cold War has ended. So presupposes that the existence of the entities is referred to, in this case, the Cold War. And the second example is Tom's car is new. So we can presuppose that Tom exists and he has new car. Next, the second types is effective presupposition. So certain verbs or construction indicate that something is fact. For example, we regret telling him. So effective preposition from we regret tell him is we told him. And the second example is she didn't realize he was ill. And effective presupposition from she didn't realize he was ill is she was ill. And next is the third type is non-effective presupposition. So non-effective presupposition is one that is assumed not to be true. For examples, I dreamed that I was rich. So I dreamed that I was rich is not true. It's just a dream. So non-effective presupposition from example I dreamed that I was rich is I was not rich. Next example is we imagined that we were in London. We imagined that we were in London is not true. It's just imagined. So the non-effective presupposition from we imagined that we're in London is we were not in London.
Lexical presupposition. Lexical presupposition is the assumption that in using one word, the speaker can act as if another meaning or word will be understood. For example, Mary stopped running or she used to run. You are late again or you were late before. Next, structural presupposition. Structural presupposition is the assumption associated with the use of certain words and phrases. WH questions in English are conventionally interpreted with the presupposition that the information after the WH form, for example, when and where, is already known to be the case. For example, when did she travel to USA? Or she traveled. When did he leave? He left. And then, counterfactual presupposition, meaning that what is presupposed is not only not true, but is the opposite of what is true, or contrary to facts, counterfactual conditional. First, and if clause, a complete statement. For example, if I had enough money, I would buy that house. I don't have enough money. 2. An embedded clause after wish, or a complete statement. For example, I wish I had studied medicine, or I didn't study medicine. And then the last is a clause with a modal perfect verb form, a complete statement. For example, you shouldn't have seen such a horror film, or you did see or saw a horror film. And then next is definition of entailment. Entailment is a relationship that applies between two sentences preposition.
Characteristic of entailment. Logical consequences following from what is asserted in the adherence. Sentence, not speakers, have entailments. The example is the first, John beats Tom. The second is John beats someone. And the last is Tom was beaten by someone. Entailment also happens when one set of objects is included in another. It may be seen as a kind of hyponymic relation. The example is the first, Mary loves her dog very much, and the second is Mary loves an animal very much. Dog is the hyponymy and the animal is the superorder. Entailments can also involve the use of determiners. This is simply the relation of inclusion. For the example is every student loves learning English, and most students love learning English. Logical consequences following from what is asserted in the adherence. Entailments depend on sentence meaning, not the context in which the sentence is used. Background versus foreground entailment. In one occasion, one sentence can has a number of background, but one foreground entailment. Foreground entailments, which is defined by stress, is more important for interpreting intended meaning. The example is the first, Rover chased 3 squirrels. It means Rover chased a certain number of squirrels. And the second is Rover chased 3 squirrels. This mean is someone chased 3 squirrels. And the last is Rover chased 3 squirrels. It means Rover chased something.
This is our presentation. Thank you for your attention.